Hi pals, how are we all today? It's absolutely horrendous here where I live. The rain is battering off the windows. I have two dogs that are not very happy with the rain, so if you hear any rain noises or any dogs, just ignore them. Normally I don't sit quite so close to the window either, so we'll just have to make do. So today is a bit of a different video. I am taking a challenge on from Fuschia Budgets. Katie made up these questions. I'm going to answer some questions just to get you to know a little bit about me, because I know that my channel is pretty much just, this is my budget, this is my cash stuffing, and yes, I do want to stay anonymous for the moment. However, there are some questions that I can answer. Obviously, if you figure out who I am, if you know me, please don't say, goes without saying, because I'm dealing with money. But I don't think, other than family members who know anyway. So the first question, these are not in the order that Katie on Fuschia Budgets answered them. However, they've just how I've sort of cut them out and whatever. So the first ones are, am I a spender or a saver? Now, I am most definitely a spender. I'm an emotional spender, which does not mean just when I'm sad. It can mean when I'm happy, it can mean when I'm excited, it can mean when I am lonely, or when I am feeling really low. So yeah, it's not just on days when I'm really depressed. It can be for any reason, but it's definitely very much emotionally led. And when I get excited about things, I'm like, well, I need to get this, I need to get that, and you know, I need to do this. So my YouTube channel, for example, I need to get a new ring light, I need to get a new phone holder. I then realised I have a camera. Well, no, then I wanted a camera, then I realised I actually have a camera, so then I need to get a tripod, which I have, and now I need to get a new laptop, and you know the drill. But because I am budgeting now, I'm hoping to curb that spending and become a saver. So wish me luck on that one. The next one is, what do you waste the most money on? Now for me it is snacks and juice when I'm out at work. I can't just go and buy a bottle of water. It has to be a bottle of fizzy juice, and then with that it'll come sort of maybe a packet of crisps or a bar of chocolate, or if it's nearer lunchtime it'll be a sandwich. And generally I am home from work about 2:30. Sometimes I'll go back out and again in the evening, but most often not, I'm home at 2:30, so I could quite easily pick up lunch then. So yeah, I waste money on food most, not food to make meals with. I'm generally pretty good with that, although I do have a freezer full, but it's all stuff that I will eat. However, yeah, snacky foods is what I waste my most money on. And it used to be magazines. I used to buy 3 or 4 magazines a week, and now I don't buy any, and that's been for quite a while, a good couple of years, long before COVID, since I stopped buying the magazines, because they were a waste of money, especially some of the stories you would read. So what is my motivation to change? So I was in my mid-40s. I'm now heading into my late 40s with my birthday in February. So I can no longer sort of rely on youth anymore. I am a single person. I do have a boyfriend, a long-term boyfriend. We've been together 10 years, but there is no progression in that relationship, as in living together in marriage. It's not something he wants, and I'm quite happy with him. So yeah, that's where we're at with him. But my motivation is to be able to, I live in a council property, and I would love to be able to buy a home. However, at my age now, mortgages are going to be hard to find, and I have no savings. So over the next couple of years I really want to save big so that I can get a mortgage. Where I live in the country, house prices are generally lower than anywhere else, although they are on the increase. But that is my motivation, to eventually be able to buy a home that is not a council property, so that I can change it to how I wish. That's my biggest thing. I have a nice area, I have a decent home for just me, but I can't make changes. I can't make structural changes, or you know, anything sort of major, like change a kitchen and all that kind of thing, which ideally I would love to do. So why did I start budgeting? Well, I started budgeting way back in October, November time. Started looking into doing it anyway. I met a lady, no, I never met a lady. I found a lady on TikTok actually from America, and she was doing it just cash stuffing, nothing else really about a budget, just cash stuffing, and it really intrigued me why to start with, why somebody would do that on camera, and also, you know, like she was showing your savings. So she was doing like a dollar challenge, and she was doing 100 envelope challenge, and obviously her sinking funds. So it really intrigued me that people did that kind of thing. And then I found a few other people. I started sort of having a wee look on TikTok, and Yasmine Camilla came up. She's a UK lady, and she's cleared off all of her debt. She's managed to do it in savings and in other ways, but she was really a big inspiration to have a look, and she kept mentioning her YouTube channel. So I went onto YouTube, and there's where I found this community and decided that yes, I'm going to start doing this. So I started doing it on paper, and then Yasmin actually had a downloadable budget kind of style sheet on Etsy, so I bought that and started using that on my laptop, and it was good. It really got me into the way of thinking, and then I was doing it monthly. It really got me into the way of thinking about my money. So I managed to kind of save some money from October, November to be able to buy some Christmas stuff. Not all of it, but more than I would have done had I not found her channel. I will link her in the description if I can. So what type of budget do I use? So I use basically a zero-based budget to begin with. So I start out with my money, and I allocate all of my money to somewhere, be it to my bills, obviously, to my weekly or variable cash envelopes, which are my electric, my groceries, my diesel, and my dog food, money for me for spending, and a miscellaneous, and then I also have sinking funds. I don't use all of my wages in that, so some of the time, well, especially now as well, because I'm now doing a weekly budget, I don't use all of that money that week, so I put in my budget a rollover and use all the money to roll over. So it has a purpose. I can't spend it because it is allocated to rollover, and I'm finding that is very helpful, because when I didn't do that, I thought I had money and I might spend, and then realise I needed some money for a bill. So I use a zero based, and I'm also part cash spender and part digital spender. So I do have a couple of cards. I have prepaid debit cards, so I put the money into the card and I can only spend what's on it. There's no credit limit, there's no overdraft, there's nothing. It's literally just the money I put in. So I could put my wage money in, but I just put the amount for that week that I want to spend. So that is usually for my fuel and my groceries. So what made me start my YouTube channel? I don't know what made me start it really. I was budgeting, and I was watching all the YouTube channels, and I was just really interested and enjoying the community and getting involved, you know, commenting on people's videos and things like that. And then I got to speaking to Gemma at Gem's Budget Life, who has an amazing channel. She's taking a wee break at the minute, but is looking to come back soon, I think. And I can't wait, because I really miss her. And we were chatting, and I blurted out that I, you know, was quite interested in doing a YouTube channel, and she helped me to make up my mind to do it, and gave me a few pointers, and just gave me the confidence to do it. Although I have never met her in person, never spoken to her in person, it's just through some messages on Instagram, but she really has been a gem. And I've had a lot of support from some members, well, from most of you in this this community, but there's been some obviously you start speaking to, and yeah, they've really helped. So why did I choose my business name? Now, I don't have a business as such. I have just this YouTube. However, I do have some other little side hustles that I do, and the business name on them is completely different because it has my personal nickname. So obviously I didn't want to put that in here just now because I wanted to be anonymous, and my boyfriend and I were just bantering back some names, and we just, that's how it came about. So I was like, why am I always skint? And he's like, you're always saying you're skint. So that part stuck, and then we just found Savvy and decided that it sounded quite good, from skint to savvy. Would I change my business name? Possibly, but for now it's mine and I like it. But it doesn't roll off the tongue that easily when you're saying welcome to my channel, and it's in time maybe when I'm more confident and more secure, and that I have a lot more money in the bank rather than in my wallets, I can maybe become less impersonal. But for now I quite like it. We'll leave it for now. So what are my savings goals? So I have a few savings goals, but my main priorities just now are Christmas, saving up to make sure I have enough money in a fund to pay a vet bill should my dog need it, and just to really get some money behind me. I have a little bit of debt that obviously I would like to pay off, but that's really it. I don't have any huge saving goals on a short term, just really the basics, Christmas and making sure that I have sort of money for all occasions that come in. However, my 5-year savings goal is to be able to have a good amount to start looking for a deposit on a house. So obviously, you know, the minimum really at the minute is about 10%, and with my age I would need a shorter term mortgage, so I would like to have a bigger deposit to put down. So that is kind of my 5-year goals. And I would also like to be able to buy a car outright, a brand new car outright. I do realise that that is not actually financially savvy, because as soon as you drive it off the forecourt it depreciates in value. However, I would just love to buy a brand new car. And when I took my car in to get, it was recalled for something, so I took it in, and in the showroom there was the most beautiful car that I've seen in the make of car that I have. Obviously I've not really looked at other makes, but the make of car that I have, there was a beautiful car and it was just lovely. My mum didn't like it, funnily enough, but I did, and that just reiterated the fact that I really do want to have a brand spanking new car with pretty much 0 miles on it. As I said, I know it's daft, but I would like to do it. So what is my favourite savings challenge? So at the minute I only do 2.5. I've only just started a third one, but I do 2. I do the 100 envelope savings challenge, and I also do the house deposit one from Budget with Us, and they both of them are going to the same thing. They're both going to the house deposit. However, I just didn't want to do the same one week in, week out, so I alternate them weekly. And I think I quite like the 100 envelope challenge because it's big money. You know, you're putting the big money in and you can see it growing, and if you've got any spare money you can do a third envelope. And I know you can do that with the bricks on the house or the doors 150 of the house, but because the money is in envelopes you kind of forget how much is there. Whereas with the house deposit one, I have the money in a little clear envelope and I count it, and it's still exciting to see it grow. However, I think the one is my 100 envelope challenge. I also do the One Piece savings challenge. Just started it yesterday actually, or the day before, that I got from Fuschia Budgets, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. And once that starts to build, I suppose that will be quite exciting too. I think any savings challenge is good when you see them start to build, isn't it? when you start them off, it's like, oh, there's nothing in it, and then obviously as they grow, you're like, oh, I've got some money, and it's really exciting, especially when you've never had any money before. So what is my favourite side hustle? I don't do very many. I do have like these other couple of businesses that I have, sort of like MLM businesses. I haven't recruited anybody into them. I don't really post them anymore. I used to, but it was a struggle on Facebook to be, you know, through COVID, it was a real struggle to try and promote some of these online. One is candles, so it was very difficult to sell candles because people want to smell. And then the Scentsy came out, and it is just, in my area, it is just gone crazy. There's so many people selling Scentsy, and although I really love my candles, they are a little bit more dangerous than a wax melter, I have to be honest. It's easier to have a wax melt on in your room and move out of the room for a little while, whereas when you've got a candle going, you're a bit more loath to leave it. And whilst my company does do the warmers, Scentsy has obviously got that in the bag. So that kind of fell by the wayside. I sell a little bit of jewellery, which I do love, and I do want to keep going with that. And it's sort of more sterling silver and costume jewellery, and it is nice. And then I also do like a makeup kind of sales, which is a bit like Avon but different. And again, I really just buy for myself from them, and if somebody wants something, they know I do it and they'll come to me for it, but I don't really promote them. So those three things. And then I do a couple of service sites, which I can't say I enjoy, but I do like seeing the money kind of build in them, even although it's really infuriating when they kick you off when you know you're just about to finish, when you know the next slide is going to be finished. But anyway, what can you do? And I also obviously selling bits and bobs. I think once I get into it, selling some of my clothes and things will probably be my favourite side hustle, because it will empty my house a bit. But the process of taking photos and listing them, I'm not looking forward to. So yeah, that's that. Now these ones now I think are going to start, becoming a little bit more personal to me. And I don't have really amazing answers for them either, so you will just have to bear with. So what is my biggest accomplishment? At the age that I am, I don't feel really that I have accomplished much in the way of big accomplishments. However, I have managed to survive to this age, pretty much always been on my own. I've never married, never have kids, and I get by. But my biggest accomplishment, I think, is, and without bringing the tone down of this video, is finding the strength to leave an abusive relationship. Won't go into detail because that's not what this video is about, but it took a long time. I was with the person for 10 years, and I would say it probably took at least 6 or 7 to build up the courage, knowing full well that it was a mentally abusive relationship. So I would say yes, that is my biggest accomplishment. So leaving everything and rebuilding my life. So not going to put a downer on it, not going to dwell on it, but that is my biggest accomplishment. And obviously I have my new relationship, he's lovely, although he has his own reasons for things, and we have my dogs. So yeah, my life's good. I'm happy now. So something I wish I could do more often is see my family. We're all spread out all over the country, from the north of Scotland where I am down to the south of England where one of my family members lives. I have a lot of little ones in my family, and I really miss seeing their development growing. And with my job, my partner's job, and my family's jobs and school holidays and all that kind of stuff, it's really difficult out with of even COVID to see them. So yeah, I would love if we all lived closer together, but unfortunately that just can't happen. I am very lucky to live near my parents and also one of my sisters and her children. They are the eldest of the family, the children, and so I don't see them much because they have their own lives now, albeit they're still children. They still have their friends and their activities that they do and things. But yeah, something I wish I could do more often would definitely be family. What do I do for fun now? I don't do anything for fun. I don't really have a life outside of work. COVID has a lot to play for that, obviously, because for the last 2 years nobody's really done much. But where I live, there's no nightclubs, there's no pubs, there's no there's no activities like the swimming pool is nearly over half an hour away driving. But I absolutely love my work. I really enjoy it. I've been doing it for 4 years now, and I have a lot of fun whilst doing my work. So that is really what I do for fun. I do like enjoy reading, listening to audible books, and going for drives in the country and things like that. But yeah, I am quite boring, I'm sorry. What could I spend hours doing? I could literally spend hours just snuggled up with my dog, reading a book, or watching the telly, or watching YouTube. I love being cozy. I love snuggling, and my dog is a lap dog, so she is just the best thing for snuggling, and she loves to snuggle too, although when she's out in the fields, like, when she's just out running free, she absolutely loves to do that too, but she exhausts herself. Her sister, which is my other half's dog, they have grown up together, and she is a big dog, so therefore when she runs around in the fields or wherever we are, she travels miles, and my little one really keeps up with her, so is exhausted by the time she gets home, which is hilarious to see. But that's what I could spend hours doing. I don't like cleaning, I don't like walking, that kind of thing. So I feel that these answers are all very boring, but never mind. This one. If you could see one person for an hour, who would it be? It would have to be my two people. It would have to be my grandparents, my grandmother and my grandfather, because I miss them dearly. I was very lucky to have my grandparents right up into my late 30s, and I have cousins who are almost 30 years my junior, so they didn't get nearly the length of time that I had with my grandparents. In fact, I would say maybe almost 40 years my junior and my youngest cousins, so they never got the time that I had with my grandparents, but I did. I had a lot of time. I was very close to them. I lived with them for a little while when I was sort of moving around to find where I wanted to stay for a permanent residence, and they were very good to me, and very good to all my family, but they were very good to me, and yeah, just I miss them so much. We'd have so many great conversations with my grandmother, and she was the kind of person who you would start a conversation, she would get distracted, and we would pick up the conversation the next day as if we were still talking about it. Crazily enough, my mother now does it, and I'm still the same with her. I can pick up the conversation. My mother is turning into my grandmother, so it's, yeah, I miss my grandma and my grandfather very much. My grandfather he had lots and lots of stories. You could listen to him for hours, and yeah, just down to earth, lovely people, and yeah, I miss them so much. So I would definitely spend more time with them in a heartbeat. So that is just a little about me. This these questions, I added one in myself actually, now that I've thought about it. It's what made me start my YouTube channel, because I do feel that I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Gemma making me come onto YouTube, so I wanted to mention her. But yeah, so these are from Fuschia Budgets. If you want to watch her video on YouTube, I'll link it below. And thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.